Hello, Mr. Hausler here. This is, excuse me. Ooh. This is a prep for Chapter 7's test, and we're actually doing checkpoint 7, solving equations with fractions. So last year we were able to solve equations in 7th grade. Now this year we have to solve those equations even if they have fractions involved. So I have to solve for x here using inverse operations. I have fractions involved. So what I'm going to do with this situation is I would like to not work with fractions. So I'm going to try to get rid of those fractions. I'm going to do that by multiplying by a number that involves 5, 4, and 2, the least common multiple of 5, 4, and 2. So if I think of least common multiple of 5, 4, and 2, you guys won't be able to see that, right? LCM of 5, 4, and 2. So 10, 15, 20, 25, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I already got 20 involved. That's probably going to be good because 2 is even. 2 is going to land on 20 as well. That'll be my least common multiple. Why do I care? Well, I'm going to use that to multiply this entire equation, left side and right side, by 20. It's kind of magical. When I multiply by this 20, those fractions won't exist anymore. I'm going to get kind of creative with this. I'm going to call this 20 a 20 over 1. 20 divided by 1 still equals 20, but when I write it in this version, it makes it a little bit easier to work with. I'm going to distribute it to every single thing in here, even on the right side of the equation. It gets multiplied by 20 over 1. So when I do that, we'll go different colors here. Multiplying there, 20 times 2 is 40. 1 times 5 is 5. The x is attached to it, so I'm going to keep the x attached to it. Bring down the addition sign. 20 needs to get multiplied to the 3/4. So 20 times 3 is a 60. 1 times 4 is a 40. Bring down the negative sign. 1/2. Okay? So 20 times 1 is 20. 1 times 2 is 2. And I'm going to bring down that x again. And I'm going to bring down that negative sign. And now I'm going to do a 20. I'm actually going to ignore the fraction version on this one. I'm going to do a 20 times a negative 8. 20 times a negative 8 is going to be negative 160. You basically can just double the 8 and add that 0 on later. Do the same thing here. I'm going to double the 12 and put a 0 on later because I'm multiplying by 20. So that's equal to a negative 240. So maybe you're watching this video and you're wondering, I multiplied by this. Mr. Hausler, didn't you say you're going to get rid of the fractions? And you still see fractions, right? Thing is, I can still simplify this. And I can actually get rid of these fractions. 4d divided by 5 is 8x. 60 divided by 4 is 15. 20 divided by 2 is 10x. Minus 160 equals 240. See, it actually did get rid of our fractions. They're gone. I just have nothing but integers here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is combine these x's, combine these numbers, start trying to solve and isolate that x value. So if I combine this, an 8 and a negative 10 gives me negative 2. A 15 and a negative 160 would be negative, okay, but it's a negative 145. It's equal to a negative 240. See how I'm getting closer to getting x by itself? Only thing I need to do now is get rid of subtraction here. Inverse would be addition. Gets me to negative 2 times something is equal to, okay, negative 95. Okay? From there, I'm going to have to undo the multiply by 2 by dividing by negative 2 on both sides. You always got to do both sides to keep it fair. Take that work over this direction. This turns into x. This turns into a positive. 47.5. So I was still able to solve it even though fractions were involved. As I taught you guys before, active listening skills, if there was fractions involved in the answer, I should probably write my answer as a fraction instead of a decimal. So that is 47 and a half. X is 47 and a half.